Denver Broncos are coming off a dominant Week 5 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders, and they will be going up against another division rival who is well-rested, the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert and the Chargers will be flying on to Denver in this Week 6 matchup. Ryan and I, we're going to break down the game, the matchups within the game that you need to watch at the very end of the video, provide our predictions and why we think those teams are going to win. But before we get into that, if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take and leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win. We're trying to get to 100 new subscribers for these Week 6 prediction video series. We've been able to hit that goal over the past couple of weeks. Thanks to all of our new subscribers. So if this is your first time here, or if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and any help is greatly appreciated. Ryan, Denver Broncos here. I need to go back and look at our predictions for them, like what our record predictions were, but I'm confident that 3 was a potential possibility, for the whole season.
Yeah.
I think I was maybe 5-12 on them. So it's still a possibility that I could be right, but it is not looking that way. They're looking very solid. They look very efficient. Bo Nix, 19 for 27, 206 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 109 rushing yards as well. They're hitting a lot of guys. So Javonte Williams was the leading receiver today with 5 catches. And then a lot of guys, 2 guys had 2 catches, and a lot of guys had 1 catch as well. And Jaleel McLaughlin had 3 catches. So just very efficient, very diverse. I wouldn't want to own any of these receivers in fantasy. But for a Broncos fan, though, that I think they're just doing – I think they know the style of football that they need to play. And defensively, though, they're one of the top defenses in the league. The Chargers coming off bye, going to be well-rested, especially, too, for Justin Herbert, who's definitely seemed to be getting a little banged up here as well. And they missed Joe Alt in the last game. What do you think are some of the things the Chargers really needed to focus on in the bye to help get them ready for this Week 6 matchup against the Broncos?
Well, one thing, just resting up, being the fresher team, I think, especially in a matchup that I think is going to be really close, being the fresher team, having more energy is going to pay a lot of dividends here. But then also too, just continuing to get that offensive line in the same rhythm. It looked like Rashawn Slater was banged up in the last game. And so, like, getting that offensive line back and healthy, this Denver team reminds me a little bit of like the Mac Jones Patriots in 2021, where it's like they have a good middle class of players. They don't have a ton of stars. Like, they have Pat Surtain, who's a really good player, but outside of him, I'm trying to think. Like, I guess Cortland Sutton is a star receiver. Like, he's a outside number 1 guy, but I don't know if I would put him in like the Devontae Adams level tier,
Oh, well, no, but also
yeah.
offensively, that's not really what they're trying to go. I think
no, exactly.
The limitations of their quarterback.
But that's kind of the point, is like, I think they're trying to play efficient offensive football, play good defensive football, and like today against the Raiders, I thought it was they got down 10-3. The Raiders even had the ball in the red zone, and then there was the Pat Surtain pick 6, and then from there, it just kind of snowballed and things got out of control. And by the end of the 4th quarter, the Broncos were way ahead. And that, to me, is a very like Bill Belichickian style. And obviously, Sean Payton is a great coach as well. But that style of football, I think, like, is just, they're not going to beat themselves. And I think the Chargers coming in, they need to make some plays, but they also need to focus on not beating themselves, not giving this Broncos offense opportunities to extend drives and doing things like that.
Well, and that's what's really unique, kind of looking at this matchup, is both teams play almost identical style of football. Are definitely limited in the passing games for opposite reasons. Just the Chargers don't really have the receiving weapons, while the Denver, I think, is still limited by Bo Nix's capabilities, which he has been improving, to his credit. I know I've been very critical of him throughout most of the offseason. Then on the flip side, though, defensively, they got a star corner. They have a good defensive line, just a good, solid defensive set, that it's hard for teams to score on. And they've all been playing really well. So they're going to play very similar style of matchups here. And so I'm curious to see who the favorite is going to be. It probably will be Denver kind of coming in. But if you are curious as well, check out the link down below. BetUS has a bunch of great promotions going on right now for first-time players. So you can watch the odds and maybe put a couple bucks down on this game or any of the other Week 6 games as well. And I think it's going to be the thing to me, is the past couple of weeks the Chargers were playing, they did really struggle to run the ball. Especially against Pittsburgh made sense, but then against Kansas City, only 55 rushing yards, only 116 total rushing yards amongst the two games when they had 219 the week before. Now that was against Carolina, so that
was also like J.K. Dobbins had like the
a
two
bunch
really like
rushing.
explosive runs, right?
Yeah. No, they were able to just grind them out between that and then also in their week 1 victory against the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Where he had
He might have also had explosive runs as well, but still a lot of rushing yards. So that is honestly kind of the main difference, I think, between both of these teams statistically is Denver is ranked 21st overall in rushing yards allowed. Los Angeles Chargers are ranked 11th overall in rushing yards allowed. But as I said, the past 2 games that they played did not run the ball well at all. Passing wise, they're both pretty similar. Denver's ranked 28th in passing yards. And sorry, those are rushing yards for offense, I said earlier. Not allowed. Passing yards, though, Denver's 28th. Chargers are 31st, which definitely makes sense, kind of what I said earlier. And then defensively, both teams are pretty comparable. So they both play the same style of game. Both are understand their limitations and try and play around that. It's going to be, I think, whoever can make just the least amount of mistakes and can capitalize. When it's 3rd and 3, you got to get that first down and keep those drives going. Keep the offense on the field. The team that can do that can take care of the ball more. It's going to be one that comes out victorious today. It's not going to be a game like today where Denver all of a sudden goes up 34 to 10. Yeah, that was kind of shocking to me. Even when I saw that they got up 20-10 against this Las Vegas Raiders team who benched Gardner Minshew, brought in Aidan O'Connell, I'm like, that's done. Like, they don't need to score any more offensive points. I don't think this Raiders team was good enough to score 20 points in general. But then against this Denver team, it's like that's all they need. So I really think if the Chargers or Denver is able to get to 20 points, and so whichever offense can get 3 touchdowns, essentially, I think that's going to win the game because it's going to be a low-scoring game. This is going to be a fun one of those low-scoring, grinded-out games because both defenses are so good. Both offenses are confident enough to realize that they have inefficiencies that they need to make up for and scheme around that in different ways, which they're both good at. So if the Chargers offensive line is able to create running lanes for J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and company, they're able to establish a run. I think that that's going to be the overall X factor because I think Justin Herbert is a superior quarterback to Bo Nix. And Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and company are still good enough receivers. Or maybe they can pick off a couple. And that being said, though, whoever Pastor Tan's guarding, he's going to be locked down for that play. It's like, Justin Herbert looked the other way. And so, but it's going to be a fun matchup. I'm kind of getting into predictions here. Who do you have winning this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. In a matchup that is this close, I usually I look for advantages, and I think defensively they're probably pretty comparable. Offensively, weapon-wise, I think they're pretty comparable. And so for me, like the next thing, quarterback. Which quarterback is better? Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Bo Nix. It's not really close. I also think in a matchup where one turnover could totally shift the outcome of this game, I'm gonna bet that the rookie quarterback making his 6th start is going to make the mistake before Justin Herbert does in his 50th start at this point. So I'm going with the Chargers, picking the road team, picking against Denver, who's on a 3-game win streak. I think maybe not the best pick, but all in all, I think the Chargers will come out ahead.
So it's going to be a close game. I've been going back and forth in my head. I'll disagree with you. I'll go with Denver here. I think one of the things we'll have to see how healthy this Chargers offensive line is. But Denver has been able to get after the quarterback. They are 3rd right now in sacks on the season with. Let me just make sure this is right. With 19 sacks so far. So I think they're going to be able to get after Justin Herbert. I think they're going to be able to help stop the run even more. And we've seen that so far too. Now, of course, the Chargers are coming off a bye. Against Pittsburgh, against Kansas City, teams that had a competent defensive line that can really get after the quarterback, they struggled. And on top of that, too, you're going to have Pastor Tan, which is going to be locking down one half of the field. You're going to have the rest of the defense that's extremely good as well. And so I think it's going to be really tough for this Chargers team to move the ball. just as tough as it's going to be for the Broncos with ball as well. But it really could be like a 10-7 type game. Both teams like want to play that style of football. So I think the home team is going to get that advantage.
Yeah, so we'll disagree on this one. Let's go ahead. We'll wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Los Angeles Chargers? Will it be the Denver Broncos? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.